There's a lot of surprises that first-time business owners that are looking to scale their home service business will encounter. And I made a list of all the things that I have in my business journey and my career have learned and I have experienced that I was surprised with. This might help you if you're looking to scale your business and build up your home service company or your service business, whatever it may be. All right, so the first thing, it's going to be a lot more stressful than you think. A lot more stressful. Okay? It won't be easy. In fact, whatever you think how hard it's going to be harder than that. And it's going to take longer than you think. Okay. Everything is your fault, even though it isn't. So all the responsibility falls on your shoulders. Everything is your fault. Client canceled, it's your fault. Employee messed up, it's your fault. Business isn't doing well, it's your fault. You'll realize that hiring is the hardest part of growing the business. Hiring good people is very hard. Out of 10 people, 9 of them are going to suck, and 1 person is going to be great. And you will deal with that forever. No matter how big your business gets and how small your business is, hiring people will always be the hardest thing you're going to deal with in your business, because dealing with people or finding good people is just an incredible, incredible task. And you can have all the processes in the world and protocols and, the system in place, and you're still not going to get, the best people, just guaranteed. Right? So it's always going to be a hard thing. You'll feel lost and out of your league many days. Man, as I was building my business and as new challenges came and new things started happening in business, I can't count how many times I have been like, what am I going to do? The secret is that CEOs and business owners, for the most part, don't know what they're doing and just figuring it out as it happens to them. First-time business owners, as you're building your business, you're scaling it, things are really going in the right direction, you are going to feel very lost, or you're going to have like some type of imposter syndrome. Well, you'll feel like, man, like I'll never be as good as that business owner, or my business will never be as smooth or as well run as that other company or as that competitor. You're going to feel that all the time. And it doesn't matter how big your company is, you will always feel that. Number 5, your business and employees mirror your habits and your weaknesses. So whatever your habits are as a business owner and whatever your weaknesses are, if you don't correct them, you will see that mirrored and play out with how your employees operate and how your business in general operates. So whatever your habits are, you'll see it mirrored in your employees. And whatever your weaknesses are, if you don't correct them and fix them, you will see them also play out in your employees, which is not a good thing. Number 6, employees are not your friends, and they can switch up on you at any time very quickly. Employees are not your friends. I don't think you need us. They're not your friends. No one cares about the business as much as you do. Okay? You can never expect people to love your company, to love your business, and to have the same drive and ambition for your vision as much as you do. It will never happen. It doesn't happen. That's why you're the leader. That's why you're the business owner. That's why you're the one that's building it and creating this vision. No one is going to be at your level, okay? Unless it's like a co-founder or something. But even then, there's always like one founder in a duo or maybe like a trio that is always the leader in that group. There's always like more of a visionary in, out of the group of founders, because it always comes down really to just one person that has just a love for the company, a love for the business. And you can't expect anybody else to have that, because they won't. Number 8, managing employees is like babysitting. So especially in the early days, but even like it changes as you build your business up. Obviously, as you scale and you start hiring more executives. But in the early days of building your business, you will feel like managing your employees is like you're babysitting them. And that's how it feels. There's just no way around that. Number 9, a stable business depends heavily on organization, and you'll realize that your job is mostly creating SOPs. Number 10, you'll find yourself become more stoic and cut and dry to make your company survive and grow. You will feel, as a founder, I think business owners, they evolve over time in their business and as they grow their business. you will feel yourself becoming a lot less emotional about things. In order to grow your business and in order to, expand your business, in order to make it, more successful, you will have to approach pretty much everything from a logical standpoint, and you'll just find yourself becoming a lot more stoic in a way, or your philosophy will become a lot more stoic, and you'll feel a lot more just cut and dry, a lot more logical about the decisions that you make. Way less emotion will be involved. No, number 11, you'll realize that firing people or bad employees fast is better than giving them several chances. Firing people is something that every business owner and every leader has to do. There's no way around it. You're going to have to fire people. And it's one of the hardest things anybody has to do. No business owner, unless you're like psychotic, loves to fire people, right? It's always a difficult thing to do. It's always a very tough conversation to have. A lot of the mistakes that I've made when it came to a bad employee was because I kept forgiving the employee and giving them second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances, instead of realizing, okay, this isn't just a one-time mistake. This is like a more of a behavior issue. I'm not going to change the behavior. I can't change the behavior. That you have to fire that person immediately. And because I didn't fire someone immediately when I should have, it cost me money, it cost me time, and it's just not a good thing for the company. So you'll realize that firing people fast is a lot better than having to give them several chances for them to correct the mistake or whatever their behavior is. It's always better just fire them fast. Go and spend more time hiring a better employee. It's just how business works. Number 12, one bad employee can poison all the other employees quickly. So this goes back to number 11, right? Which is firing. Another reason why you should fire fast is because one bad employee can, and I've seen it happen in my own business. I've seen it. It's crazy how much one really bad employee affects the other employees. Like it's like a poison. It's like a cancer in the company. And you have to get that person out of the company immediately because they will affect the other employees. And you don't even know what it looks like until you actually go through it and you're like, whoa, okay, this is really affecting the performance of the other employees because you have one bad employee. So yeah, you'll realize that as well. Number 13, the journey of building a business is extremely lonely and there's nothing glamorous about it. This is a very important one. Man, you see so many videos on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, all over social media, on YouTube, all over, of business influencers, showing this like glamorous lifestyle of being a CEO, of being a business owner, of being a boss, whatever it is. And I just want to tell anybody that's starting a company, that is a lie. It's not glamorous whatsoever. Those are influencers, and most likely they're just trying to sell you a course somehow. Real entrepreneurs, real business owners, people that are actually building something significant will tell you that it is not glamorous. It is not fun a lot of times, and it's very stressful, and there's a lot of responsibility that you have to deal with on a regular basis. So this idea that everybody wants to be a startup founder, everybody wants to be a big time CEO, man, there's a reason why they get paid a lot of money. It's a very stressful and high pressure job. Okay. It's not for everybody. So just realize that. And again, it's very lonely. So a lot of the problems that you will deal with as a business owner, as someone that's scaling their company, is only problems that you're going to understand, or you're going to be able to speak maybe with someone else that has been through it and has a company. Then you'll be able to have a conversation with them about it and talk about the pressures or the difficulty of running a business. But unless you go through it, it's pretty much lonely. You're not gonna go up to employees and be like, man, this business is so difficult. They're not gonna understand, and really, you'd never want to do that with an employee, anyways. Number 14, the business does better if you get out the way. Sometimes, like for me, when I was building my cleaning business, I'm very detail oriented. So I'm a perfectionist. I want things to be done perfectly. And because of that, I would actually slow down jobs because I was there basically micromanaging everybody or just making everyone stay later than they should because I wanted it to be perfect. And that actually hurts the business. So like me as like, obviously it's my business. It's my company. I want the thing to be perfect. I want the client to be the happiest they've ever. Like by me being just so involved in the very little details, I'm actually slowing down my company. I'm slowing down my employees and I'm actually hurting the growth of my company. So I have to get out the way. This is very important for people to understand. It's better to have a growing company and 70% of the quality that you would provide personally than to have a company that doesn't grow or even get smaller and then have you do have perfect 100% quality done every single time. Like as you hire people and as you delegate more work, the quality of the business won't ever be at 100% like you would provide it because they're employees. But it's better to have a growing company and then have them do 70% quality work or, than have 100% quality work and the business not go anywhere because you're not involved on the day-to-day tasks of growing the company. You're involved in the little details of the services being offered and everything. So just a thing that you'll realize. Number 15, you will have to fire a friend or family member at some point. Okay. Number 16, you will realize that work-life balance is a mythological creature that doesn't exist. Okay. This is a very important one. Let's actually talk about this one. As you're growing your business, you will realize that what it takes that's necessary for you to grow your company is a lot of work. And work-life balance does not exist for entrepreneurs that are looking to scale their business. If you own a lifestyle business where you go in at work at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, whatever, and you clock out 4 or 5 o'clock and you go home and you sit on the couch and you're watching TV and you have a cup of tea or whatever it is, good. That's a lifestyle business. It's going to stay a lifestyle business forever. It's never going to grow and it's never going to do anything. It's going to be like that forever. Now, if you want to build a business that scales, you're hiring more people, you're increasing revenue every year, every month, your goal is to get more clients, more revenue, more profit. Your goal isn't to have a lifestyle business. Your goal is to scale the business to a much larger than what it is today. Then man, your day-to-day is not going to look balanced. You're going to be all over the place, right? Because your business is just going to require more of you. And so you can't just go home and just say, I'm clocking out for today. My boss hat is off. I'm no longer the CEO of the company. No, if there's an issue and it's happening at nighttime, you have to be available. If there's an issue that's happening and it's in the morning time, you have to be available. If it's on the weekend, you have to be available. There is no work-life balance. And if you're looking for work-life balance, get a job that gets you a 9 to 5, and then you can go home and spend time with whatever you want to do. If you're looking to do something significant and scale an organization, there's no work-life balance. I'm sorry. That's just not how life works. Number 17. The bigger you want to scale, the less of a lifestyle business you'll have. Okay. So if your goal is to, again, like we just talked about in number 15 or 16, is if your goal is to scale and become more profitable, like for example, if my goal is to start a business and I want to scale it to 1 million, and then I want to scale it to 5 million, and then I want to scale it to 10 million, and then I want to scale it to 50 million, like you're not settling for the company to be just a small business where you're involved on the, you're the more you want to grow your business, the less of a lifestyle business it is. And a lifestyle business is one where the work-life balance, right? That you have more time to do your hobbies, to work on what you want and do whatever you want and travel and, spend time with friends and go out on the weekends and all that stuff. That's a lifestyle business. You do your thing 9 to 5 in the morning, and then you go and you live your, personal life. But if you want to run a business that scales, there's no like we said, no work-life balance, right? The less of a lifestyle business it's going to look like, and the more you're going to have to be required and be available for that business in order for it to scale. That's how the world works. Don't get into business if you don't like it. No, 18. You have to be the best salesperson, and the success of your business depends on how well you can sell your business and or your services. You cannot delegate sales to other people. You will hire salespeople, but you have to be the person that sells your service the best, because, man, if you don't know how to sell your services, you won't be able to teach anybody else or hire anybody else and tell them how to sell your services. Like, as an entrepreneur, the greatest skill you can have as an entrepreneur, and actually, statistically speaking, the best entrepreneurs, the ones that make it the best, are the ones that can sell, are the ones that they can pitch you a vision. They can pitch you the idea. They can pitch you the success or what it's going to be. They can pitch you the value, the benefits of doing business with you and working or buying your product, whatever it is. You're going to need to sell it to investors. If you get investors, you're going to have to sell it to employees when you start hiring. You're going to have to sell your business to your customers, of course. You're going to have to sell it to everything. You're constantly going to be selling your business and your services and your products and the vision and everything around it all the time. And so you better be really good at selling, because if you don't sell, then you're just never going to go anywhere. And in 19, the scariest thing you'll hear from an employee is, do you have a moment? Because those are the toughest conversations you'll have. I think that this is a surprise that you're not going to want to have, but as you start hiring, you have a team of employees, you'll realize very quickly that anytime one of them goes, hey, can we talk? Or, hey, do you have a moment? Or, hey, do you have a minute? You know that conversation is going to be tough, because it's always tough. So that's the 19 things that I wrote down that I think first-time business owners are going to deal with when you're scaling, you're growing your business. And yeah, these might sound like they're negatives, by the way, but they're not negatives. This is just reality of building a business. This is what it takes. This is what you're going to realize. This is what you're going to encounter. It's just, that's what it is. And so hopefully that helps someone. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.